So, yes, thank you for coming. Thanks for being here. World Water Day is on Saturday, and it's about recognising the preciousness of fresh water all around the world, obviously. It is also Spring Equinox today.
Mm.
And
Oh,
as you
yeah.
know, that is a time of the year when day and night are of equal length. And we're starting to step into spring, and the days are lengthening and the sun's coming back into our lives. It's a time traditionally to think of balance because of that equality of day and night. And that can mean looking not just inwards, as perhaps we have been over the winter time, being reflective and thinking what we might do or do differently in the coming year, but also looking outwards and looking at what we might start to develop. What are the shoots, the spring shoots that are coming forth? The balance also might refer in this instance where we are communing with water, looking at the water within ourselves and the water without. And I think also at the moment there's so much bad news or triggering news and so much stuff out there that is happening very, very fast that I think it's maybe important to balance that with taking personal positive actions and being the change that we want to see in the world. And as a song says, don't watch the news, be the news. It's also about renewal, the spring equinox. It's about rediscovering potentially our relationship with nature, listening to nature more intently, and about regenerating and rejuvenating ourselves. And nature is a great source of regenerative energy. And lastly, it's an important time in terms of it being a threshold. And at these parts of the year on the wheel of the seasons of in the year, the different Celtic festivals, the liminal times arrive where we are at a time where there is a thinner veil between our world and the world's the spiritual realm. And it's really an invitation, I think, because there's an ambiguity, there's an uncertainty, there's potential at this liminal moment. And we can take the opportunity to be open and ready to receive inspiration from the earth and embrace uncertainty. Things could go either way, and we can embrace that not knowing and give ourselves a chance to just give credence to the possibility that those thoughts, those inspirations that we open ourselves up to and ask nature to give us might just be genuinely a communion with nature and not just us, creating it ourselves, but actually a collaboration with nature. So that's an invitation for this evening as well, is just to open up to the possibility of being in communication and in communion with water as we celebrate her and honour her. So the intention for this ceremony is to remember our kinship with water, the water within that gives us life and makes us who we are, and the water without that gives everything life and makes us all one. There is only a thin layer of skin between the waters within and the waters without. Let's remember our relationship with Grandmother Water. So let's create our sacred space. And I invite you to take the bottle of water that you brought, feel its weight and its coolness in our hands, and then pour some of that water into your bowl. Get your nature offering and just blow your love and gratitude into your nature offering and then offer it to the water. Just take a moment with the water. Let's ground ourselves now and honor the space that we're in. You might want to close your eyes and let's be conscious of our breaths in and out through the nose, long, deep, and comfortable. And as you do this, hear your breaths. Hear the waves of the rolling sea in your breath as it circles round. The quieter undertow as you breathe in, and then the white horses breaking onto the beach as you breathe out. You might want to emphasize your breath so that you can really hear them. Now, as you continue to cycle your breath, feel your feet on the ground. And imagine you are growing roots from your feet and you're sending them down deep into the earth. Through the rich topsoil, the hard subsoil, through the rock, down into the crystal clear aquifer of water below. Now, as you breathe in, imagine drawing up through your roots great quantities of water, surging up through your legs into your body, filling you with energy. And as you breathe out, drench the world around you with life-giving water. Now send your focus to the east, where the sun rises. And as you draw water up, send it out to dance with air as droplets of rain and clouds of vapor in the never-ending sacred water cycle. We honor the cycles of our mother Gaia. Now send your water energy to the north to bring forth all the green shoots of new growth on the land. We give thanks for the new life of springtime. Now pour your water into the south and watch her glittering reflections under the fiery sun. We rejoice in the beauty of the elements. Now draw up the water and channel it to the west to flow into other waters. Water attracts water. And we celebrate that water brings us together. And now breathe the water in and drench yourself. Feel the water cascading over you. Feel it rejuvenate your spirit. Sing with me if you know this song. River wide and river deep calls me to her side to protect and for her speak. Water, she says, it is time. For all things thrive where water is clear. Water, she says, it is time. For all things thrive where water is clear. Water, she says, it is time. Now you may open your eyes. The water within and the water without is 4.5 billion years old, older than our precious Mother Earth herself. Our grandmother water came before, in the early formation of the solar system. And when we look upon our rivers and our waterfalls or our seas, they are the most ancient part of the landscape, older than the fossils, older than the oldest trees, older than the rocks. The water that we drink, that makes up 2/3 of our bodies, is the same water that our ancestors drank and that made up their bodies too. There's no new water formed on Earth. The same water from the beginning has flowed through all of life throughout time. We share our water with the past and we share her with the future. Let us give thanks for our precious water. I invite you to pour a little of your water into a glass. And just see how miraculous this see-through liquid is. So vital for life. And in a moment, as you sip and swallow, feel the waters within you. Goddesses of water, Hafren, Vaga, Malvina, Airfen, Sulis, Conventina, we offer our gratitude. We can feel your gift cool in our throats, and we give thanks. We feel the easy glide of our joints and the smoothness of lids closing over eyes, and we give thanks. The saliva that pools in our mouths and the elasticity of our skin, and we give thanks. The ease of swallow, your fullness in each of our cells, and your pulsing flow through every vessel, and we sigh with gratitude. Now, I invite you to meet the waters without. You come to your bowl again and just place your fingers, one hand into the bowl of water. Hello. Notice how the water feels, how you might feel to her, how she responds to the movement of your fingers. Notice that all that separates the waters within and the waters without is a thin layer of cells, themselves filled with water. When I visit the Y, I put my hand into the water when I arrive to greet her, to meet her with my waters. And she always amazes me as I look out over her for her movement, her eddies, her broiling and her gurgling. She flows constantly, and yet her currents are not regular or predictable. And when I ask her for help, I often find that when a particularly striking idea comes to me, she suddenly surges with bubbling gurgles louder than before. She's my gurgleometer. We are water. When we were children, we explored our surroundings with natural ease and curiosity, losing ourselves for hours in the magic of play and experiment. An innocent, playful union with the world that supports us, our Mother Earth, our life giver. But as we get older, we're often too busy or preoccupied with grown-up things to stop or to notice. And we forget the magic connection. So let's honor that relationship again. Let's rediscover a sense of wonder for our grandmother water. And it is so simple. We're going to take 5 minutes now with our cameras off to reacquaint ourselves with the element of water. Hopefully you have a bottle of water in a jug, a bowl, a glass, a straw. Take your time and explore. Observe and be open. Don't be shy. Invite her into communion with you, with your breath, your touch. Spin her, pour her, draw with her, play and enjoy. There's nothing else more important for you to do for the next 5 minutes. Now I'll call you back. If you run out of ideas, I'll put some prompts in the chat for you to try. So if you now want to turn off your cameras and the 5 minutes will start. Okay. Give thanks to your water for this communion and come back when you're ready, switching your cameras back on. Would anyone like to say anything about their communion with water? What did you discover? Bubbly. And do you want to say any more about that?
Oh, sure. I mean, bubbles are wonderful things. And it's so easy to make a bubble, isn't it, with a straw? So I thought that was a touch of genius. I always remember watching an amazing program some years ago about the sound that you get by the seashore, you know, the sound of the sea, and how actually what you're listening to is the breaking of trillions of little tiny bubbles that have all been created by the incoming waves. You know, all that foam is actually just trillions of little bubbles, and they're all exploding. That's where you get that sort of whooshing, hissing sound by the seaside. It's all to do with bubbles.
Yeah. So one of the many sounds that water can make. Beautiful.
Yeah. I did some splashing as well.
Great, great. Anyone else like to say what they discovered or afresh, or you can communion? Go on, Christina.
So I just tried touching the surface of it. And when you do that, it's almost like it comes up to meet you.
Yeah.
It's a real kind of like you're touching each other. It's kind of weird and nice.
Yeah. Isn't it? That is amazing. Thank you. Water is life for all species on this living Earth. To look at planet Earth from space is to see a living sphere of turbulent blue waters and white wispy water vapour. Unique in all the universe, a glowing azure circle showing starkly against the blackness of space. From this perspective, planet Earth is truly planet water. 3/4 of its surface covered by liquid life, whose parentage is manifest in the blood of every animal and the sap of every plant. Without land, the sphere would still bear abundant life. Without water, just one more sterile moonscaped globe, 3 orbits away from its star. Water, the fount of life, was once held in reverence, in sanctity, honoured and haloed. But we have forgotten water's divine status. It's but one more element to be manipulated. There, to be poured on our fields, to be siphoned through our industrial mills and absorb our multitude of poisons, to be squandered from our taps and befouled with our wastes, to allow ships and boats to travel where they will, to be the ultimate sink for our pollution, our sewage, and our throwaway plastic, our agricultural runoff, for the flotsam and jetsam of industrial life. The fresh water we drink is diminishing everywhere through drought, disregard, misuse, and waste. Despite mining water and siphoning lakes, water shortages abound around the world. And yet water is not a commodity. It is more than a resource. Water is the source of life. Water is sacred. Goddesses of water: Hafren, Vaga, Malvina, Airfen, Sulis, Conventina. As we drink your life-giving elixir, let us taste her sanctity, feel her caress, and give thanks for her vital gifts. To her health, water. Thank you.